And I can see him being a big threat in the midfield for the All Blacks if they ever chose to go down that path with a hybrid type of player. He's the only one I've really recognised at the moment that could fit that role for the All Blacks. I've been taking a particular notice in Andre Esterhuizen so far this year for the Springboks and what Rassies has been doing with this hybrid player and whether or not it's starting to make a real difference in the Springboks team. And I think it is, and I think it's time for some other nations to take notice of this and see what they can do to combat it. And I think there's a bit of an edge there, and I think the All Blacks have a potential hybrid player that's perhaps not on Razor Robertson's radar at the moment, and I want to talk about him in this particular video. Yes, New Zealand All Blacks answer to Andre Esterhuizen, coming up right now on Inside Rugby with Mark. G'day everyone, welcome to Inside Rugby with Mark, or as some of you say, Mark in the Park. And here we are again today. I'm a Kiwi rugby fan living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico. And today I'm talking about Andre Esterhuizen and New Zealand's potential answer. And I'm sure this is going to rile up a lot of the Kiwi supporters, so let's get into it and have a chat about it. But in all seriousness, I think what Rassies is doing with Andre Esterhuizen is really interesting, because the guy definitely has the ability to be big in the forwards. We saw him score that great try in the weekend against France. And since he's been used in that role in the last few games for South Africa, it's really had an impact. And of course, we've also seen him come on in the back line. And of course, Kwagga Smith can do this as well, but I don't think Kwagga's quite at the level. And while it was a surprise to me to see Kwagga left out of the team against France, I can see now exactly why Andre Esterhuizen is being used in that position. So what can the All Blacks do, and what should the All Blacks do? Have they got an answer to this? Should they have an answer to it? And not only the All Blacks, of course, but other teams across world rugby. Is this hybrid player thing going to become a thing? Is it going to be a big differentiator in the Rugby World Cup in 2027? Well, I don't know yet, but it's a very interesting topic, I think, to have a look at. Now, I've been watching across New Zealand rugby for the last 12 months to see whether there's any standout player for me that could actually fit this type of role. And I've actually identified someone. I think New Zealand does have a potential answer to Andre Esterhuizen, and it comes in the shape and the name of a guy from Otago called Lucas Casey. Yes, I think this is a potential gem for New Zealand rugby. Now, most New Zealanders will know Lucas Casey as a flanker, as a loose forward, and someone who played outstandingly throughout the NPC season in 2025. For those around the world, well, you might have not known about Lucas Casey yet, but he's a 22-year-old who's from Otago, playing for Otago. Now, Lucas Casey had an outstanding season at NPC level for Otago this year. He scored 9 tries in the season, and if you look at some of those tries he scored, he was out in the back line doing things like a number 12 does, and that's exactly why I think Lucas Casey could be an Andre Esterhuizen type of player. He's brilliant on his feet, he's good off both feet as well, he's got a sidestep, he can run fast, and he's very good in the outside channels. And not only did he score 9 tries throughout the season, he had 102 carries. Absolutely phenomenal for someone in his position. Now, Lucas Casey, as I said, he's 22 years old. He's 1m83 and 92 kilos at the moment. So that makes him round about the same as Fraser Dingwall, playing at number 12 for England at the moment. And I'm sure that Lucas Casey's going to get a little bit bigger. Now, he's not on Razor's radar at the moment, but then a lot of good players that we have in the New Zealand system don't appear to be on Razor's radar. So I'm just putting this out there today as a little bit of midweek madness as we get ready for the next round of autumn internationals. But I think from what I've seen from Andre Esterhuizen so far this year for the Springboks, and what the All Blacks and all the other teams need to be looking at doing, is having a player within their midst that could fill this role as a hybrid player. And I think it's something exciting to look forward to towards 2027 in the Rugby World Cup in Australia. Now, in scoring those 9 tries for Otago this season, Lucas Casey scored 45 points, but importantly, he had 36 beaten defenders in those runs, and he was really, really good. As I say, if you haven't seen the guy at all, go and check out some YouTube highlights and see how good he is at beating defenders, particularly when he's playing in that outside channels. In the games that I watched him, it started to come into my mind that I thought that this guy has really got some potential to be a hybrid player for the New Zealand All Blacks in the future. And it'll be interesting to see whether Razor or the All Black coaching system is going to look at developing this type of player. So I'm interested to know in the comments from you all today whether or not you think the All Blacks need a hybrid type of player, and if we do, who would it be in your opinion? Would Lucas Casey be someone that you would consider that you perhaps never thought of? And what about other nations? Do you think other nations have got hybrid players at the moment that they're using, and who are they? And whether or not this is going to be an important factor as we head towards the Rugby World Cup. I'm really interested. Now, what I really liked about Lucas Casey's season in the NPC this year was that he's a really hungry rugby player. He's always popping up at the right time. He's a great support player, so that gives me more reason to believe that he would be fantastic in the midfield for the All Blacks in the future and be able to provide those types of footwork that we need to be able to beat rush defences, and I think he would be very, very good at that. So yeah, I've been a big fan of Lucas Casey in New Zealand this past season. Let's see whether he's able to back it up again next year, and let's see whether he finally gets on the radar of some of those people in the New Zealand All Blacks that really matter. So yeah, I don't know, is this hybrid player thing going to become a big thing, or is this just another one of those great moves by Rassies to get the jump on a lot of other nations? Are we going to see a lot of hybrid players going to the Rugby World Cup in 2027? I'd love to hear your opinions and read them in the comments below. But for me, Lucas Casey was a standout player in the New Zealand NPC competition in this past year, and I just saw the ability that he has, and I was thinking this guy could make a great loose forward, as he already is, but also be a brilliant player in the midfield for the New Zealand All Blacks in the future. And I think if he bulks up a little bit more, and you know, I've been watching Andre Esterhuizen for a while for South Africa, and he's a really, really good player, and he can fit into those roles really, really well. And I think it just gives the squad a little bit more flexibility. And as I said, I was surprised not to see Quagga Smith on the bench for the Springboks in the weekend against France, and I can understand totally now why Rassies is using Andre Esterhuizen. Also helps that he scored a try, of course, in the weekend. But is this the future? Is this what we're going to see at the Rugby World Cup in 2027? I'd really like to know and to read your thoughts and opinions in the comments on this one, because it could be a case that we see a lot of these players coming through who give coaches the ability to have that 6-2 split where they can rotate that player between the forwards and the backs, and that could be a crucial thing as we head into that competition next year. But that's just something I wanted to share in my video today, so let me know your thoughts around it. Check out Lucas Casey from Otago in New Zealand, had an outstanding season in the NPC. I'd love to hear from the Kiwis watching this video if you think that Lucas Casey could be a hybrid player for the New Zealand All Blacks in the future. Don't forget, I'm going to be back soon with plenty more content as we build up to the next weekend of autumn internationals. We've got some great games coming up, of course. We've got Australia playing Ireland in Dublin. That's going to be a cracker. We've got the All Blacks going to Twickenham to play against England, of course. Everybody's going to be biting their nails over that one if you're an All Blacks fan. And we've got the Springboks against Italy, who took down Australia last weekend. So they will be flying high to have another crack at the Springboks this year. Don't forget, Italy went to South Africa earlier in the year. So a lot of great rugby coming up. I'm going to be giving you my previews and reviews here on Inside Rugby with Mark. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the button. Let me know what you think about this video and this idea. Hey, just a quick one. If you've been enjoying my content here, head over to the new channel, United Rugby Fans Podcast. I put the link in the description of this video, but I'm starting to interview rugby people from across the world on all sorts of different topics. It's going to be a really interesting channel, so I'd really appreciate if you get over there, hit the subscribe button, be part of that channel, check out the couple of videos I've already got there, plenty more coming on that one. Rugby people across the world talking about our great game. Can't wait to do more on that one. So for now, it's time to say adios from beautiful Cancun in Mexico, and I'll see you all again in the next video. Bye for now.